Is Nancy Loveland, who's the CEO of DoSomething.org. That's the organization that made the PSA. Also in New York, attorney Tamara Holder. I got to tell you, the reaction to this reenactment PSA has just been incredible, and I want you to take a look at some of it right now. The voice you're about to hear is reading directly from the detective's affidavit of what Rihanna said after the alleged beating, and be warned here, this material is graphic. Let's roll that.
She picked up his cell phone and read a text message from a woman he had a previous relationship with. A verbal argument ensued. He reached over to her to open the car door and attempted to force her out. When he could not, he shoved her head against the passenger window of the vehicle, causing a circular contusion. She turned to face him, and he punched her. He looked at her and stated, "I'm going to beat the out of you when we get home. You wait and see." She picked up her cell phone and faked a phone call. "I'm on my way home. Make sure the cops are there when I get there." He looked at her and stated, "You just did the stupidest thing ever. No, I'm really going to kill you." He resumed punching her.
Just disturbing to watch. Nancy Loveland, off to you first. This is your organization that first released this PSA last week. Tell me what the reaction has been. What are you hearing from people?
Yeah, we have been absolutely overwhelmed by young people reaching out to us, really saying thank you. Thank you, you made me think. Thank you. I never realized that I was in a situation like this. You made me think, and now I've talked to a friend. The whole reason for doing this PSA was to bring to light teen dating abuse and to make young people active on the issue. They have the power to stop this.
It really does it in an attention-grabbing way that you can't deny. The whole thing running nearly 2 minutes long. I want to look at some more of that. Let's roll that, Chris.
She turned off the car, removed the key from the ignition, and sat on it. He began applying pressure to her carotid arteries, and she began to lose consciousness. She attempted to gouge his eyes, but he bit her fingers and released her. She brought her knees to her chest and placed her feet against his body, pushing him away. He continued to punch her legs and feet.
As I said, it really grabs your attention. Some people have said maybe in too disturbing a way. Tamara, off to you. Do you think that DoSomething.org has done a good thing here, or have they gone too far with this?
Well, honestly, AJ, I don't know what their point is. I mean, if you go online, they have a site where you can go on and get like a free bracelet. There's no information on how to get help. There's no information on shelters. There's no information on how to get an order of protection if you're being abused. There's no information whatsoever. I mean, getting teens to think, that's not the problem here. The problem is, why are people in these violent relationships, and how do we help these people, not creating awareness alone?
Nancy?
Maybe you ought to get your eyes checked and check your internet access, because we have 8 different hotline numbers there, right there on the website. The whole reason we're driving people to DoSomething.org/abuse rather than just distributing these things willy-nilly, you have to come to DoSomething.org/abuse so that you can read the Teen Dating Violence Bill of Rights, warning signs for how you can detect whether or not your friend is in a situation like this and what you do, and all of the hotline numbers. And by the way, as a result of this, terrific organizations like Break the Cycle, loveisnotabuse.org have seen spikes in traffic because this campaign is driving people in that direction.
Well, it's really been interesting. So it sounds like Nancy, that the information is in fact there on your website. But it's been interesting to hear all sides of the issue since you guys released this PSA. And I got to tell you, our Showbiz On Call phone lines have been on fire over the whole thing. There's a call I want to play to you. It's Andrea in New York, and she actually called into Showbiz On Call to say she doesn't think the PSA is graphic enough and doesn't truly portray the atrocities of domestic violence. Listen to this.
I don't think that PSA goes half far enough. The voices aren't even raised, and you never once see him hit her with a fist. You never see anything that could lead to the way her face looked afterwards. I think it's way, way underplayed.
Nancy, I'm curious to hear what you have to say to that criticism that it actually wasn't graphic enough, because, of course, once again, the reenactment comes from the direct transcript from the detective of the allegations against Chris Brown.
Look, we didn't set out to make a Lifetime TV movie of this incident, and we could have, I suppose, used fake blood and had people scream and call them by actual names that were more reminiscent of real people. Instead, we really wanted to move from two specific celebrities to the issue of teen dating abuse more generally and get people to think, huh, that could be me, you know, that looks like me. We wanted to get away from this as a black or a white issue and show this as racially neutral. This could be everyone, and in fact, it does affect 1 in 3 teens.
Yeah, and as I said, it is powerful, and I think it gets the message across. Now, the New York Times did this startling piece last week on how so many teens are now coming to Chris Brown's defense, and I want you to take a look at our Showbiz Tonight question of the day. We asked online and on air, Chris Brown assault charges, are you surprised people are defending him? Look at this. 59% said yes, so only 41% said no. That, to me, is the shocker. 41% of our viewers aren't surprised that people are defending Chris Brown. Tamara, I don't really get it here. Why do you think so many people say they get it? They understand why people are coming to Chris Brown's defense.
Well, you know, this is like the nature of our society. People are judging before they have all of the facts. Remember that this affidavit from this police officer is hearsay. It's not going to come into court. He wasn't a witness. And so people are just jumping to conclusions, whether they support him or they don't. I mean, we need the facts. We need to understand what really happened before we start jumping to conclusions, creating PSAs that are actually reading the affidavit. It doesn't matter what characters you use. They're reading the affidavit from this case. It is the exact same thing.
Well, and again, just to do something's point, I think they're trying to transcend the case for the case's sake. But to the point of people still coming out to support Chris Brown, and maybe he has the sense that the outrage is dying down because he made a rare public appearance over the weekend. This photo you're looking at right here from Radar Online shows him shopping for hats. Fans were crowded around, snapping photos of him on their cell phone, somebody asking for an autograph. I only have about 20 seconds for you here, Nancy, but in light of what Brown is accused of doing, beating Rihanna, does it surprise you that his fans are still so loyal?
You know what? Chris Brown is an amazing performer. I love his performances. His music is fantastic, and Rihanna, Bam Bam Bida, I mean, that's still stuck in my head. There's no doubt that these are talented people. What we at DoSomething.org are all about is getting kids to take action, to solve community problems, be part of change. This public service announcement, not about Chris and Rihanna, not about assigning blame.
Got it.
It's about change.
Got to end it there, and you do it in a powerful way. As I said, Tamara Holder, Nancy Loveland, thank you both for being here. I appreciate it.